Click, click, click.
Welcome back. If you've watched our previous video about how to introduce illustration into branding, you might have heard us mention the importance of colour.
There's quite a lot to explain about colour and how to use it. So today we'll dive into colour psychology a bit more, and hopefully it will give you a good idea of how it can strengthen your branding choices and even make emotional connections with your audience. Colour theory explains the science behind how humans perceive and understand colour. We can evoke messages through colour and create visual effects by mixing, matching and contrasting colours to evoke an emotional response. You've probably heard about colour theory before and remember seeing the colour wheel in one of your art classes in school. It looks like this. The first colour wheel was designed in 1666 when hair was curly and gowns were long. It consists of the three primary colours, red, yellow and blue. The three secondary colours are created by mixing the primary colours together, which results in green, orange and purple. The six tertiary colours are created by mixing the primary and secondary colours together. These include magenta and violet, for example. The colour wheel can easily be divided into warm and cool tones. By using complementary colours, you can create striking images that really pop, due to the sharp contrast between the two colours. A good example of this is red and green or blue and orange. These are just some simple rules of colour combinations that always work, but that doesn't mean it will work for the purpose you will be using it for. Red and green is a dynamic combo, but that doesn't mean red and green matches your brand. However, from a branding, design and marketing perspective, understanding the wheel and how colours harmonise together will help you better communicate your vision. So, enough about the science, let's get into the practicality.
Choosing a colour for your brand is just as important as your logo design. The colour you choose is one of the first things people will notice about your brand or your product. Studies have also shown that up to 90% of a customer's decision about a product or service is based on colour alone. This is because colour stimulates an empathic response from your audience. So it's important that you create an aesthetic that goes with the values and characteristics of your brand. In other words, using colour in branding is about sending an emotional message without actually saying anything. There are several reasons why colour is so important. First of all, interesting colours can help distinguish your brand from your direct competitors. This is also useful on social media. Having posts that feature impactful colour combinations can stop people dead in their tracks and help to get more engagement from your content. By using colour in the right way, you can instantly convey your brand personality. Something that's bright pink can seem a lot more fun and exciting than if it was dark brown. We instantly set a certain mood or give an association related to that colour. Doing this also helps boost brand recognition, as using the same colours throughout your website, socials and products will show your brand is consistent and trustworthy. By educating yourself about how to effectively utilise colour theory, you can use it to create the desired emotion you want your customers to associate with your brand. There has been extensive research on how colour can persuade and affect customers in their choices. While it's true that they may be interpreted differently depending on the person and their experiences, many colours can tend to evoke the same feelings to most people. Now, let's discuss what emotions people associate with colours and how they might fit with your brand.
Blue is associated with water. It inspires feelings of calm, trust and purity. It's often used by banks such as Barclays or other corporate businesses, as it symbolises safety and security. As a calming colour, it comes across as friendly and inviting, which is why companies such as Meta and Twitter have used it in their branding.
And red. Red is generally associated with love and romance, which is bizarre because its other meanings juxtapose these, as it can also stand for aggression and or danger. Often used as a sign to indicate a threat or warning, its tonality and vibrant hue expand its versatility, which means it can also be used to instigate a more positive response. It's both playful and stimulating, whilst being eye-catching and bold, hence why YouTube uses red in their logo, and why it's also recognised among the masses.
Yellow. As blue is associated with water, yellow is connected to the sun and therefore relates to positivity, joy and optimism. It's a metaphysical symbol for hope. Studies have shown that yellow actually causes a person's brain to release more serotonin, which is why it's the symbol for happiness. It's a warm and noticeable colour, which makes it a good choice for branding. Just think of the McDonald's and Subway logo.
Orange. Orange is a very controversial part of the colour wheel that people either like or hate. It's sometimes linked to bargain products, but it's great at grabbing attention, which is why it's often used in marketing. Orange feels energetic and confident. It's the colour of adventure, optimism, courage and communication. Companies like Amazon and Harley-Davidson have used it in their branding, as it marries up with their business profile and mission statements, whilst also giving an insight into their company values.
Green. Green is the most relaxing colour to the human eye. Through its representation of nature, growth and prosperity, our mind associates this colour with a sense of harmonious living. According to colour psychology, green relaxes nerves and eases and lessens anxiety, while subconsciously soothing and calming individuals. In marketing terms, green often symbolises money and therefore relates to brands like Rolex and Land Rover. But it doesn't end there. Green's other connotations include environmental and ethically driven sustainable businesses due to its relationship with nature, and is why we see it in brands like Body Shop and Greenpeace.
Purple. Royalty and luxury have long since been associated with the colour purple. Its expression of power, nobility and creativity allows for a luxurious and elegant appeal, whilst giving a creative look to your brand identity. It's the visual representation of independence, curiosity and uniqueness, which suits companies like Twitch and Discord that strive for user independence. Where Cadbury plays on the nobility associations with its purple packaging and gold accents.
Pink. Pink is associated with femininity and youthfulness, giving it an innocent feel. It expresses a certain sweetness and charm, but also symbolises peace and healing. Light pink has a feeling of softness and sentimentality, while hot pink is high energy and exciting. If you want to use pink in your branding, having an understanding of your audience is crucial, as you don't want to play into gender stereotypes.
Black and white. Some of the most recognisable brands to date use a combination of black and white in their brand identity. These colours can be interchangeable depending on their placement. They're a versatile option for a company's branding. The strongest of all the colours, black is often used to represent formality and sophistication, but can also add a rebellious edge. White symbolises simplicity and purity and can create a sense of ease and space. Together they make timeless, high contrast and harmonious designs. From clothing brands to electronics, if you want your brand to scream distinction and creativity, these are the pairings for you. So now you know what colours mean. When selecting colours for your brand, it's important to understand that colour perceptions and meanings can change with age, social class, gender, religion and even geographical location.
It's vital that you understand your target audience, because you want to make decisions based on their perceptions, not your own. After all, you want your brand to convey the right message. Taking your audience into consideration, have a look at your brand values and personality and how they can translate into colours.
If your brand values are centred around trust and security, then perhaps you want to implement some blue into your branding. If your brand personality is more energetic and excitable, then yellow and orange could be a better fit.
A good way to approach picking your brand colours is to pick 3 of them to work with. A main colour, which suits your most dominant personality trait, an accent colour, which pairs well with your main colour, but is used sparingly, and a background colour. This can be anything, as long as it complements your main brand colour.
The 3-colour strategy will give you a good starting point and allows you to keep your colours consistent and focused on what's important. Just remember, this may take a little bit of trial and error, as you may need to experiment with the tones.
We hope that was helpful. Let us know your brand colours in the comments below and why you picked them. If you like what you've seen here today, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more content from us.
But wait, we've just started releasing a monthly newsletter with updates and free marketing tips and tricks, so feel free to sign up. The link will be in the description below.
That's all for now. Hope to see you next time. Bye!
Bye!